Welcome to Finca el Gamonal. Set in the heart of the Costa del Sol, just a few kilometers inland from the small town of La Cala de Mijas, lies Finca el Gamonal. With literally thousands of olive and avocado trees, this huge finca sits in the valley between the Mijas mountains and those in Marbella, so the views are spectacular, taking in the white village of Mijas up in the mountain, and all the way up the valley for miles inland. Finca el Gamonal was once part of the cattle estate owned for generations by the Villalobos family. It's now a productive farm producing thousands of kilos of olives and avocados every year. The 82 hectares at Finca el Gamonal are divided into three main areas: the avocado plantations, the olive groves, and a large orchard. Apart from the cultivated areas, quite a large part of the finca is woodland or scrub, home to all sorts of different wildlife. But first and foremost, Finca el Gamonal is about olives and avocados. First, let's take a look at the olive groves. "29 hectares are planted with olives, aceituna in Spanish. 24 of these are oil-producing trees of a variety called arbequina, and 5 hectares are planted with table olive trees, the hojiblanca variety. The oldest olives here are about 15 years old, with the youngest ones ranging from 3 to 6 years old.
La plantación está en una zona privilegiada por el hecho de que aquí el clima le acompaña mucho al olivo, porque como no hay frío, al no haber frío, el olivo crece mucho y va muy bien. Entonces por eso las producciones son muy altas.
The most important event in the olive tree calendar is the harvest, which takes place from the end of October to early January. In this huge harvest, the 6 full-time workers from Finca el Gamonal are all involved, and they're helped by 6 temporary workers. Although a lot of the work is done by machines, olive harvesting is hard work, and some of it is still carried out by hand. The first step is to shake the olive tree using a specialized machine known as a shaker. This machine holds the trunk of the tree and shakes it so that as many olives as possible fall onto the nets and spread out underneath. Operating the machine is a delicate task, as during the shaking the tree must not be damaged, so future crops are guaranteed. The workers also harvest the olives by using small machines that shake individual branches and knock the olives off. Once all the olives have been knocked off the tree, the nets need to be gathered up. That's easier said than done because they're weighed down with so many olives. To get around this, first you attach the four corners of the net to a roller above the loader on the tractor. Then, once the roller starts turning, the net is rolled in and the olives scooped up easily and quickly into the loader. Then, the daily harvest of tens of thousands of olives is taken to a huge silo. Before being taken to the mill, in which Finca el Gamonal is a shareholder. This mill, called Sur, is in Agua Dulce, 130 kilometers north of the farm, and here the olives from Finca el Gamonal are turned into liquid gold.
Aquí es donde acaba el proceso de las aceitunas que hemos visto en el campo, pues aquí en esta fábrica lo que hacemos es extraerle el aceite.
The extraction of the olive oil from the olives is a long one and involves several processes. First, the olives are cleaned of their leaves and stalks. Then they're taken to the mills where they're ground to a pulp. The next step is to beat the pulp in giant mixers for 2 hours. At this stage, if the olives are too dry, water is added, or if they're too damp, talc is put into the mixture. This is one of the most complicated stages, because you have to get the humidity of the pulp just right. Next, the mixture is spun to separate the oil from the rest of the olive, such as the skin and stone.
A partir de ahí, hay un proceso de decantación natural en los decantadores, aproximadamente de 48 horas, se hace una cata previa y ya mandamos el aceite a bodega.
The olives from Finca el Gamonal are now ready for bottling. This is done in the cooperative Oliostepa, next door to the mill. Thousands of litres are bottled here every day, ready for the shops in Spain, or export to Italy, from where it's exported as Italian virgin olive oil. During the rest of the year, the olive trees need careful tending. They don't need a lot of water, but in the dry summer months, the automatic irrigation system provides what they need. Included in the automatic irrigation system are fertilization and treatments against common pests and diseases. Soon after the harvest is finished, the olive trees must all be pruned to ensure they produce as many olives as possible next time round. As well as olives, Finca el Gamonal is also a big producer of avocados, aguacate in Spanish. There are 27 hectares altogether planted with avocado, and the finca grows 2 varieties of rough skin avocados called Pinkerton and Hass. The avocado harvest takes place during February and is carried out entirely by hand. Each worker has a long pole which they use to reach up into the branches and cut off the avocados. The fruit on the lower branches is picked by hand. The fallen fruit is then stripped of leaves and stalks and put into boxes. Like olives, avocado trees need looking after all year round. They are pruned during March just after the harvest to keep their shape and ensure a good crop for the next year. And like olives, they also need treating against pests and diseases. Each load of avocados is weighed and then put onto a lorry to be taken to the wholesale market. Last year, Finca el Gamonal produced 122,000 kilos of avocados, and this year's harvest has been even better. El Gamonal orchard sits opposite the house in a sheltered spot that's ideal for growing oranges and lemons, as well as unusual tropical fruits like mangoes, papayas, guavas. The orchard is home to dozens of fruit trees, which between them provide produce all year round. The orchard also has grapefruit and mandarin trees, custard apples, chirimoyas in Spanish, and medlar fruits, nísperos in Spanish, that should be ripening soon for early spring. As well as a successful working farm yielding thousands of kilos of produce every year, Finca el Gamonal is a far cry from the usual Costa del Sol expat scene of retirees playing golf and bridge. In fact, it's difficult to imagine anything more different. But then, this finca is a very special place.